almost absolutely nothing to do with being rich. It's true. In fact, most people don't fail because they earn too little. They fail because they just never build a system. Welcome to this explainer where we're going to dive into the exact strategy to save your first 10 grand way faster than you might think. Let's jump right in.
So, I really want you to rethink everything you've ever been taught about saving. Earning a high income does not automatically equal building wealth. We've all met that person making six figures who's still completely broke and living paycheck to paycheck by the end of the month, right? Financial success actually comes from a structured system. It's all about creating a gap between what you earn and what you spend, and then fiercely protecting that gap.
All right, step one, pay yourself first, which is all about building an automatic money flow. Okay, so the absolute biggest mistake people make is trying to save whatever happens to be left over at the end of the month. But here's the problem with that. There's usually nothing left. Your money just inevitably disappears on food, random shopping, and little expenses here and there. The much better strategy is paying yourself first. The exact moment your paycheck arrives, you want to automatically move 20% right into a savings account. Basically, you've got to treat your savings like a mandatory bill, not an optional choice.
There's this super profound concept in behavioral finance. Money never seen is money never missed. And it is so true. By automating your transfers to a separate account the exact second your paycheck hits, you completely remove willpower from the equation. The money moves before you even have a chance to talk yourself out of it. You don't have to agonize over every little purchase because your system is just quietly doing all the heavy lifting in the background.
Moving on to step 2, plug the money leaks and track every dollar.
Now, before we can automate our savings, we really have to know where our money is actually going. There's some staggering data out there from C+R Research. They asked consumers to guess their monthly subscription costs, and on average, people estimated about $86. But when researchers dug into their actual bank statements, the real number was a massive $219. That's literally more than 2.5 times higher. Small purchases don't feel expensive in the moment, but they create these massive invisible leaks in your budget.
And honestly, the data gets even wilder. 74% of consumers completely forget about recurring monthly charges. We're talking forgotten streaming services, old gym memberships you swore you'd use, premium app trials that rolled over. They don't feel like a lot on their own, but together, they are quietly stealing thousands from your wealth every single year. Tracking every dollar for just 30 days forces you to confront this. Sure, awareness can be super uncomfortable at first, but it's also exactly where real financial change starts.
Which brings us to step 3, the 50-30-20 rule. Basically, your blueprint for saving.
Let's make the actual act of saving a whole lot easier. There's a philosophy, beautifully illustrated by Incredible Bank, that gives us a really clear map for where our cash should ideally flow. It makes sure we cover our bases without feeling completely deprived of the things we actually enjoy.
The breakdown is brilliantly simple. 50% goes to your absolute needs, stuff like rent, groceries, and utilities. 30% is for your wants, so that's dining out or hitting up a concert. And then 20% goes directly towards savings and debt. Now listen, if saving 20% feels completely impossible for you right now, do not panic. Start with 5%, then gently push for 10% in a few months. The goal here isn't overnight perfection, it's relentless consistency.
All right, step 4, increase your earning power to grow that gap. Here's a little secret wealthy folks understand. You cannot simply starve your way to wealth by cutting out coffee. At some point, you have to widen the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Data from Coursera actually highlights this perfectly. They found that learning high-income technical skills like becoming a data analyst or an AI engineer pushes base salaries well over the $110,000 mark. But hey, even without a massive career change, just bringing in an extra $300 a month through a side hustle adds up to $3,600 a year. That is over a third of your $10,000 goal generated without touching your main budget at all.
Oh, and we absolutely have to talk about what your money is doing while it just sits there. If your savings are parked in a standard checking account, inflation is literally slowly eating it away. But right now, parking your money in a high-yield savings account earns you around 4 to 5% annually. On a $10,000 goal, that's an additional $400 to $500 a year, effortlessly. Seriously, it takes like 10 minutes to set up online, and it is essentially free money just for giving your cash a smarter home.
Finally, step 5. Lock in your system using behavioral psychology.
To ensure this whole financial machine actually runs on autopilot, we've got to leverage a little psychology. Behavioral economists point out that we're basically divided into two selves: the far-sighted planner who really wants to be wealthy, and the myopic doer who just wants immediate gratification today. This creates what's known as present bias, which is our tendency to focus entirely on the here and now. Our myopic doer self wants to spend immediately, which is exactly why we have to build a physical friction barrier between ourselves and our money.
And the fix here is almost embarrassingly simple. Keep your savings in a separate, slightly inconvenient bank account. Ideally, put it at a completely different bank than your checking account. Think about it. If your savings are sitting just one single tap away in the exact same app you use to buy groceries, you are going to dip into it. Keeping the money out of sight and slightly annoying to reach totally protects it from your own impulse spending.
So what does the actual timeline for 10 grand look like? Let's just break down the math real quick so you can see exactly how achievable this is. To hit $10,000 in 1 year, you need to save $834 a month. Stretch that to 2 years and it's $417 a month. Over 3 years, it's just $278 a month. And honestly, when you break $278 down, it's less than $10 a day. That's literally less than a takeout meal. It just proves that small, daily actions compounded over time create absolutely life-changing results.
Remember, saving $10,000 isn't about luck, it is entirely about habits. So, I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on today. If someone just handed you $10,000 right now, what would you actually do with it? Think about what that money really represents for you. It's not just cash, right? It's breathing room. It's the ability to handle a life crisis with a calm, "I've got this," instead of a full-blown panic attack. Visualize that freedom and start building your automated system today. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and trust me, your future self will definitely thank you.